and listened with my heart, so I knew why he ran from me. I understood his hesitation before he ever disclosed it to me. I knew why he tried to avoid me, why he would paint his fear with time constraints. Of the same makeup as I, he knew he met his match, but feared that the heartache of yesterday would catch him again, so he tried to preempt the end. Sent mixed signals, spoke in riddles when he spoke. Something in me evoked a certain longing in him to be invisibly present and presently invisible. Everything in my essence cried out to him from our descendants to be, and pleaded with him to be the beginning of our line of ancestry. He was undone by my intensity. So he tried to hide from destiny, but I was already a part of his everyday vocabulary. I was everything he longed for and all that he'd given. He wanted to keep his feelings hidden, but didn't. I was his shell and all. I see the lover in you. I saw myself in him too. Saw the superhero, asking for nothing, giving everything, and I knew. Looking into his eyes, I saw reruns of my yesteryears, private and unforgotten tears, sensitive ears, hearing all that was unspoken, damaged nerve endings, still feeling the effects of a heart that's broken. Jokingly, he said, yeah, I need to stay away from you. Something he knew he couldn't and wouldn't do. Wouldn't, because the complication of sexual relation had already been injected into the equation.
It's done. It's already been done.
Couldn't, because after drinking from my fountain of birth, his thirst was undeniable.
Fountain of what?
He got more than he was ready for. His heart made him want to explore forever, wanted to form ties that couldn't be severed, knew that if we were together, I would be a distraction. His other affairs would become taxing. Casting me in the leading role in his life, he knew I'd take the title of Best Supporting Actress. He would be my captive. But he was used to being a captain, and where he knew I was seeping into his soul, he feared the hold I could have of his mind, so he minimized the time we spent. Lessened the messages sent. What my scent perfumed his every inhalation, and thoughts of he, me, and baby me became his preoccupation. I saw it with my mind and heard it with my heart, so I fell back and played my part. He wanted to put distance into our existence, but I met his resistance with silent persistence. Insisted on not being dismissed because I knew he'd be remiss if he ever lost sight of what a gift real love is. I had to show him that I was willing to grow with him. But I knew he still had to grow within. Had to go within and prioritize. Because of me, he had to reorganize his success portfolio. He was walking under the influence of passion. The satisfaction of that euphoria made him want to call me Gloria, which in Latin is glory. I was, and still am, the happy ending to his story. Very little before me mattered, and anything after could only be in the hereafter. I was his omega sweet, and he was pledge brother. I love me some passion, no less necessary. He would walk barefoot over burning coals to kiss my lips and drink in eternity. And I for he, but he still tried to run. I wanted to remind him that the earth was round, and the further he ran from me, the closer he'd get to me. But I didn't. Set him free. It's in a circular race. The finish line is where you start. I saw him leaving my mind. I heard him come back in my heart.
That was so hard.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Unsurprisingly, he was desensitized and characterized their copulation as just sex. Stood there dumbfounded when she showed him the pink tip stick and said a baby was just next. Couldn't understand her callousness. Couldn't wrap his mind around it when she haughtily threw over her shoulder up. And it'll cost just 17% of your check. He ran after her, snatched her by the elbow, bellowed, so what, you gonna have it? He was unnerved by the look in her eye when she very calmly replied, something you should have thought about before you decided not to bag it, You thought sex was recreational, but I'm here to tell you that parenting is vocational. You don't study math if you want to pursue psychology, and you don't go climbing up an ass if you don't understand biology.
Wow. Preach, preach.
Don't come at me now like you didn't expect this, because neither one of us tried to prevent it. We both went into this knowing the potential outcome, and now you want to ask me if I'm going to run to the nearest clinic and use termination as some kind of daily dollar short contraception? You can't be serious. I refuse to believe I'm hearing this. He countered with, not ready to be a father. She was riled up at that point, but she kept her cool and asked, "You think I want to be somebody's baby mama? If that's the best you got for me, you better go back to the drawing board, partner." What happened to that man that was about principles? The one that wanted to institute classes to repopularize values? Weren't you the one pontificating about rebuilding the family unit? And as soon as you have the opportunity to practice what you preach, you stand here spewing some stupidness, you right. This is something I need to take into consideration. And I wish, before I laid down with you, I had this many reservations. I can't unwrite DNA codes, and had I known that I had chosen a fraud for a potential lifetime partner, I wouldn't have let you slip in or just put the tip in. But you're a disgrace even for an accidental father.
Disgraceful what?
I'm gonna have to do now to be super me and the man that you'll never be, so my baby can take his or her rightful seat in a place of royalty, not self-deprecating, subscribing to poverty, being a penny ante hustler, trying to be a part of the hoodie league, all as a means to an end of what began in love and culminated in you running up and through Negro place. But at this point, it ain't even about you. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm in pursuit of spiritual, emotional, and mental wealth, and I will not allow that decision to be determined by instruments on my OBs or GYN show.